Welcome to the Style Sports Hub.
Well, welcome to the SportsHub Podcast, sponsored by Plaza Cadillac, Plaza Lincoln, and our friends at Eustis Roofing. I'm Scott Chevalier, and you know we love to talk sports. We're in that season where everybody is already probably putting together their fantasy leagues, talking about what's going to happen in high school football all around this district, who's going to be at the top. So we're talking about leadership, we're talking about discipline, all the things it takes to be a great competitor. And do we have a guest today who can give us really a good visual of all those things? Leadership, competition, what it means to overcome obstacles. And we have right now in this studio the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Florida, Jay Collins. Welcome, brother.
It's great to be on. Thanks for having me.
Man, I am so excited. I could think of nobody else to have on this show today when we're thinking school just now starting, teams are on the practice field. Every sophomore, junior, and senior has this in their mindset, I'm going to win this year.
That's right.
This is going to be our winning year. We're going to do it. And so many things happen. Week 1, week 2, all the way through a long season. Man, I sat and listened to your story, and I thought, man, we got to have you on the podcast. There are so many people watching that they can get their kids in front of this, the coaches in front of this, parents in front of this, and go, hey, let's listen to somebody who's had that story, who's leading, someone who has overcome obstacles and really helped us understand how to deal with those setbacks and become all we need to be. So I thought, I don't know, can I call you Jay?
You can call me whatever. I'm good with Jay, yeah.
I love it, because if I have to say Lieutenant Governor all the time, it's a lot of words.
I know my title, man. I go by Jay wherever I go. We're good.
That's what I want to hear. So when we talk about sports, I
love sports. Yeah.
Sports part of your life growing up?
Absolutely it was.
Tell me about that.
I grew up in a small town. In a town with less than 1,000 people, everybody does everything, right?
Wow.
So you played football, baseball, ran track. I wanted to be good at baseball, was my favorite sport. I just didn't hit the ball well enough consistently. And
that's important.
It's a critical function of baseball, it turns out, right? Always wanted to be better. But, football is a sport I focused on, football and track. And the two kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I love football. I love the kinetic aspect of it, certainly, but I love the strategy as well, in thinking and reasoning and solving problems and understanding the angles while you're flowing. Yeah, competition drives excellence. When I left high school, I went to college. I played a couple years. Busted up my knee. It turns out that your ACL, MCL are pretty important to speed and function.
No, they're functional.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Joined the Army, and then sports and competition never go away. You get in an ODA and a team, man, it's all competition. Everything's competition.
Absolutely.
And then when I lost my leg, after I lost it and requalified, I got to compete for Team USA. I got to compete, so I was in the Invictus Games in Australia for wheelchair rugby, track, cycling, and then I had an opportunity to go try out for bobsled and potentially cycling for the paras. And I got into politics instead, but, I got addicted to marathoning. I know I'm built like a brick with legs. Generally, people like me don't run marathons, but I was trying to set the world record for a single leg amputee. I was trying to get sub 3.
Gosh.
I got to about 3:16, 3:17 on a consistent basis. And then again, I got into politics, so I messed up all that. But yeah.
But it's all about discipline. It's all about that competitive spirit. Working at whatever you're doing. Giving everything you've got.
Never self-select, man. Don't tell yourself you can't do it. Just get out and compete, fight.
You're the perfect example of this. I think back at what you just said in football. What position did you play when you played football?
I played linebacker.
Oh, no surprise there.
Yeah.
That would be a little bit intimidating to come around the corner and see you there.
Would have been better if I was like 6'2", but, at 5'9", again, I was a brick with legs, but I could lay the whale on people, man, I'll tell you.
Man, that is fantastic. I had no idea that you took things beyond even when you got injured and carried sports beyond that. You did it in your military career, but also to keep doing it in sports. What's inside of you that keeps that type of drive going in your life?
I hate losing. I do. I hate losing. To be honest, you want to be incentivized to win, but I expect to win. I expect to be, at a minimum, competitive. I want to win, period. But losing, man, it just breaks it off inside me. And I don't like it when people tell me I can't do something.
There you go. Yeah.
When I hurt my neck in high school, I tore the muscles off from where they attach playing football. They told me I'd never play football again. I may or may not have gone to a doctor hours away from my hometown to go get a physical. And I showed up on the football field, and one thing led to another, and I ended up going on and playing in college for a couple years. When I got injured and lost my leg, they told me I couldn't run. So I started running marathons. And then I ran a bike across America, 3,000 miles in 50 days. Tell me I can't do something, and I'm going to bust everything and break everything I can inside me to make it happen.
What a message, because so many times today people give up too early.
100%.
January 1st comes, they're on the new diet.
Yeah.
I'm going to work out this year. This is going to be the year I get physical. And about 2 or 3 weeks into it, they find themselves going, man, that Snickers bar looks pretty good. Couch looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Snickers are pretty good. Couch looks pretty good. They start, giving up the discipline, walking away. It's really hard to find people who have what I call perseverance to push through.
That's it.
Because there's going to be obstacles.
The number one indicator of success, really there's two, I think, that matter. Are you willing to get in the mix, right? Are you willing to jump in and just sort it out? In an imperfect world, are you willing to just say, forget it, jump in and I'm going to let it go? And then, man, nothing's promised to you. Look at Tom Brady. I love Tom's story, man. It's the American story when it comes to sports. He was not the dude.
Yep.
He was passed over. He fought. He pushed, and became the greatest quarterback in the history of American football. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
When you look at how he
Perfect
practices,
story. Yeah.
Look at every single rep, every iteration. It's proof that you can get better. That mentality is what works. But when I got into special forces and when I got into the tiered elements within our military, it's the same mentality. We had NFL trainers. We had trainers from baseball, from the NBA, and they were driving the art of human performance forward. Greatness comes at the cost of laziness, right? You have to show up. You have to work hard, and you don't have time to twirl your thumbs. Every second counts towards something.
I think your illustration, I was going to bring that up on this show, Tom Brady.
Yep.
I mean, I remember the game when Bledsoe was not able to play, and they bring this lanky kid off the bench who played at Michigan to be a quarterback.
And then they show his 40 times.
Exactly, man. Yep. A guy that you're like, this is the quarterback that's coming in the NFL? And now looking back, I mean, what that guy has been able to do, and even the age that he continued to play at, had a lot to do with what we're talking about.
He's probably still a top 10 NFL quarterback, I got to be honest.
There's very few teams who would probably give up that phone call.
100%.
They would probably say,
his mechanics, his anticipation, his understanding of the game, man, he's pretty incredible.
Yeah, to find someone who has the winning edge.
Yep.
You said it, I expect to win.
You have to. If you listen to him, and I got to know him a little bit. We're not BFFs. I would never make that thing. But I got to know him through my nonprofit work. We fed millions of people after hurricanes and wildfires. Wow. And he came and worked with us. And he served people out in the community. And I got to tell you what, man. What's amazing about Tom is he is the same exact person you would hope he would be. He is humble. He is hardworking. It's not about him. It's about others. It's about winning. It's about performance. And it's about results, man. There's no hubris. When someone would talk smack about his 40 time, he would say, yeah, man, I'm pretty slow. But you know what? Here I am. I have other strengths, right? He was so calm, so kind, and just humble. Man, humility is so critical in life. It really is.
Oh, absolutely. There's a statement that we have in all our classrooms across Lake County here, and it's choose your hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because many times we live in a culture today where that's not really embraced. We're looking for the easy, the simple. What makes it something that I can be instant? That's where the microwave all came in, drive-through, get my food, I'm out the door. Not realizing, really to be successful, man, you got to choose your heart.
Yeah, one of the all-time best sports speeches is Tom Brady's, it's hard to get up when your friends aren't doing that. It's hard to put that time in. It really is. And one of the things, and again, this is where sports and being on an SF team and working in those elements, it's the same language. It's the same people, right?
Wow.
Pick the path less traveled, right? When we train tactically, we're not trained to go walk on the road because that's where you get smoked, right? Where bad things happen.
Exactly.
We're trained to take the path that others don't want to go, where it takes preparation, it takes effort, it takes grit, determination, resiliency. But that's where winning lies. It's the same thing in sports, man. The metaphors and the reality, it's all the same place.
So you talk about having that winning mindset all through high school. There had to be a point in your life where there was a setback. I'm thinking of the military, but I don't know if there was one before that. What is it in you that you can have a setback in your life and you overcome it?
Well, I'll tell you what, my life has been a series of setbacks. I was born into a broken home. My birth mom was 16 and had issues with alcohol and drugs. My grandparents adopted me. We lost our farm. We moved to town. My dad had issues with his heart, my grandfather who adopted me. He ended up passing away in high school. I blew out my knee my freshman year. I broke my neck my sophomore year, and then I kept coming back. When I got to college, I was coming off another, bang up on my knee, so I wasn't quite where I wanted to be, and ended up going from a big school to a small school and making the most of it. I left college after a couple years. I joined the Army, and as a Green Beret, I got shot. I did surgery on myself in the field. I came back 30 days later onto the battlefield. I got hit by a mortar. I fell about 20 feet, broke my back, blew out most of my lower back, and 7 years later, they amputated my left leg because of those injuries. And then I served 5 more years. Nothing is given to you. You got to earn it. You got to show up, and you got to fight for it. And what's amazing, and I'll be honest, I'm going to go into religion just a little bit here. I often ask, why did all this happen to me? All I wanted to do was be a Green Beret on that ragged edge of freedom. I did. I want to be out there serving and doing things nobody ever heard of. And I got shot. I got injured. Those things were taken from me even after I requalified. You just lost time. But, it takes heat and pressure to temper steel. You get stronger the more you go through. And I believe that God's not trying to break us. He's trying to make us stronger for something to come.
Absolutely.
Every single thing in my life, as it is right now, if I hadn't been raised in poverty, on welfare, I wouldn't understand this. If I hadn't been injured, I hadn't been broken, I hadn't been pushed down, I hadn't been ignored, I hadn't had to work for every single thing, I was never the most talented. I certainly wasn't the tallest, the fastest, or the strongest. But I never quit, and I kept pushing, and I demanded more of myself. Always look to yourself first when something goes wrong. Don't blame others. Just suck it up, buttercup, and get back out there and work. That is the recipe for success.
Man, what words to even be on a coach on a sideline, to look at the players on the field, to have that kind of mindset. I want us to take a break, but I want us to come back after the break and talk about that setback in the military. When you got shot, you end up losing your leg. But I know there's more to that story, because you didn't just get back in the military, you went a step further. So I want to take a break. We'll come back, hear more about the setbacks and how to overcome them, right here with our Lieutenant Governor.
Experience the calm and serenity of a new Lincoln today. With over 100 new Lincolns in stock, you're sure to find one you love and enjoy financing offers as low as 0%. Or take advantage of attractive offers totaling over $5,000 on our best-selling Corsair and Nautilus, the 25 Motor Trend SUV of the year. We also offer a huge selection of locally owned certified Lincolns with a 6-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Plaza Lincoln, across from the Leesburg Airport. Our drive to be the best starts with you.
Welcome back to the SportsHub Podcast. I told you this is going to be one of those shows. You're going to want to share this over and over again. We have the Lieutenant Governor, Jay Collins. Man, hearing your perseverance, people here may not see it in your eyes. I see the fire in your eyes when you're talking to me. Maybe the linebacker, maybe the military. I don't know what I'm watching, but I wouldn't want to run around the court. It'd be a little bit of a merge right there. But, talking about the setbacks, I just try to put myself in the situation of you getting injured in combat. Preparation, getting ready to do what you need to do to defend this country, and find yourself in a situation where you're injured. Walk us through that moment. What's going through your mind on the battlefield after you get injured? Sewing yourself up, it's hard for us to even understand that, but that takes a certain individual to be able to do that. Give us a clue of what that looks like.
It's going to sound absolutely crazy for people who haven't been in this, but any gunfight in combat, it goes up and down, it crescendos, decrescendos, it speeds up, it slows down. It doesn't just stay and then stop. And it restarts incrementally. Like, you can be sitting there calm, everything's good, and then boom, all hell breaks loose.
Wow.
And, you've got to be prepared. That's why we train, why we do SOPs. But when I got hit, I was on the back gun or the back truck in this convoy, and this was when we did movement to contact, meaning movement to ambush. You're going to drive around, they're going to shoot, we shoot back, and then we win and we move on. And not preferred, but that's what we were doing at the time, right? I didn't even know I got hit. When I got hit, I lost a liter of blood. The only reason I knew something was going on is because I was slipping on the gun deck. My heart rate was up. I was probably cranking at 180, easy.
Wow.
I'm focused because there are people, and it was the first time we saw people actually maneuvering. Many times in Afghanistan, it was pray and spray, right? Like, they'd just run some rounds out there and you weren't going to get hit. These were concentrated. There were people right up close, too close for gun runs with aircraft, right? That's a key indicator. And they were covering and moving. It was pretty impressive. And then I saw rounds flying overhead and popping. And then I, remember seeing things hit the swing arm, but I had no idea I'd been hit. And when everything decrescendoed and slowed down, what do? You clear the feed tray, pull the deck, the box, put it down, put a new one in, get the feed set up, clear your weapon, get ready, and you're up. And then you go deal with everything else. I thought they'd hit Rippets or a water or oil. Rippets are little energy drinks. Like that's the worst case. I was like, oh crap, man, please, I can't go without caffeine. And when I realized it was blood, I was like, well, it's got to be somebody else. And I quickly realized it wasn't a them problem, it was a me problem. And we put a tourniquet on, we did all that stuff, and the battle just kept going. I put a tourniquet on, and we continued through that mission for quite a while. All in all, multiple people were injured by the time we got back. I'd gone to a pressure dressing afterwards, and I developed about a day later something called compartment syndrome, meaning it was crushing the area around the muscle, and blood had seeped through while the tourniquet was on because of blood pressure.
Yeah.
And it caused it to swell. So it was starting to occlude the arteries and veins. It was killing my arm. And I'm going to make a long story shorter. I ended up doing surgery on myself in the field about 24 hours later. I did a fasciotomy with me, our junior medic, a couple other guys scrub teching and getting video, and I saved my left arm. Now, was it fun at the time? No, it was not fun. But we did a block on the elbow, a block on the shoulder, opened it up, did surgery, closed it up, and then went back and I had like 4 more surgeries at the next level of care and was back 30 days later. That was the expectation. I wasn't about to leave that nation, not to leave that battlefield when my brothers, my teammates, were out there fighting every day. I didn't care what I had to do. That was the expectation. You don't leave people behind and you don't back away from a fight. Wow. And a few months later, I got hit by a mortar when they were trying to overrun a fire base. I fell, broke my back, blew out some bones in my lower back, the discs. And as I found out later, it blew holes in my inner ear, just pressure. It messed up the lymphatic system in my left leg and the arterial and venous supply in my left leg below the knee. And it took time for that to manifest itself, but I didn't wake up with my leg ripped off. It just took time. 7 years I continued to fight and serve and repel and fast rope and do Green Beret stuff. And then in January of 14, they cut it off. And I was left with a choice. The Army said, you're going to get kicked out medically. You're too old. I was at 18 years. I was over the river through the woods in a grandmother's house. I was so old, right? Positively geriatric. And, they said, you have no choice. And I said, I want a chance. Don't give it to me. Let me earn it. Let me requalify in every single thing that I can do.
As an amputee.
As an amputee. So I did. I requalified as a Green Beret. I never left service. I stayed in. I wanted to fight. Because if I don't do this, somebody else is going to have to prove them wrong later. So take the fight now. Take the win. Wow. So I had to requalify in shooting, moving, communicating, fast rope and repelling, jumping out of airplanes day and night. Every physical fitness test that I had to do with 2 legs, I had to do with 1. And there's some good stories. I mean, legs fall off in free fall. Legs break in fast roping, and you have to figure out ways around that. But now we know. There was no book. I got some notes now. So if I ever do something else, right, we're there.
Man, if we could take that, what you just shared in that segment, and bottle it and take it to every locker room, I think we would have high school football coaches lining up to play that segment. Yeah. Because there's going to be a time when you're not going to feel like you're on the field because I got a headache. My arm hurts. I got a bruise. And to hear you share with the heart that you have and the discipline and to get up and to continue the midst of all that, it is almost unfathomable to think about that kind of commitment. And I can see it in your eye. I mean, it becomes real to you when you share it. Yeah. But I think it's developed you for where you are now. I mean, I look at where your life is right now, and you said, you ask yourself, why does God let these things happen? Right. You think about people in the Bible like David. He was out slaying lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
That's right.
Until a guy named Goliath came around. And it didn't even intimidate him because he took a lion down. And really, that's who you are.
You have to be willing to face whatever comes your way. Fear does nothing for you. Fear is just another thing to deal with, and you have to react accordingly. Stop, think, analyze, react.
Wow. When you think about leadership, because you are a leader, obviously. Lieutenant Governor right now running for the top office for the state of Florida. I mean, what does it feel like for you, and how do you assemble? Everybody needs in a team people around them.
Absolutely.
What do you look for when you're trying to find people on your team to put around you to have the same mindset that you have, to walk with you into that kind of battle? What are you looking for?
So I need people to help fill gaps for me. Look, I am one of the most driven human beings that have ever served in special forces. That's through testing. And then anecdotally, just by life, I can tell you, I am bad at vacations. I'm bad at resting. I'm bad at relaxing. I don't like to not do.
Yeah.
But man, it's the only thing I can control. I can't control what happens. I can only control what I do. Hard work, preparation, dedication lead to winning. It is just that simple. So when I look for people who help think differently, moral compass, man, if you can't be trusted to do the ethical thing, the correct thing, the hard right, when people aren't watching, I don't want you around me. I don't. I do not want people that we can't trust. I want people that I can trust to do their job. Where I come from, in the military, especially in special operations, we give people huge amounts of responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, you can go in and run an entire 1,000, 2,000 person military unit with cash and weapons and be entrusted to do that because the government puts that in you. But if you fail or something goes wrong, you have to be held accountable. You have to operate with that. And we have to be lean as a government. We have to be lean enough to show people we respect the taxpayers' dollars. And great things and excellence has to be our only thing that we can accept. But excellence is a habit, per Aristotle, right? That's not mine,
absolutely.
That's his.
Yeah.
It's just laying down those bricks and realizing that you're never going to be perfect, but you have to aim for as close to perfection as you get. And if you fail, who cares, man? Dust it off, get up, figure out what you did wrong, don't do it again, and move forward. That's it. But you have to have people around you that have the same competitive nature, but offset gaps, man. And if everybody were me, it would be a crazy place.
Yeah,
it would.
Again, here, I bottle what you just said, and we could take it into locker rooms because that is so true. I mean, people having that kind of drive and just getting up every day, doing it over and over again with an expectation we're going to win.
That's right.
So, and if we don't, RL, we're going to go to the next game and we're going to play it again, and we're going to play that run. We're going to run it again until they stop us.
That's right.
And we're going to have that mindset. And I love how you said you put people around you who maybe they're skilled differently than you because you have such a drive, but you said something very powerful. You said a compass, a moral compass. If there's anything missing today for young people, it's understanding where's north. Because there's so many voices out there saying you can do this, you can do that. Man, you just said it. You just said we got to have people who have a moral compass, who know where north is. And if you're not that person, I don't want you on the team.
100%. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Defend the people who are weak, who need help. Stand in and do that hard right. Be the person who wants to go the extra mile. If everybody gave up to their capability and ability, nothing would be impossible. But let's take that for a moment and apply it to our state and to our country. If America comes in line and we all row the boat together, there is not another nation on this planet who can match our capability, our competency, our drive, our dedication, and our ceiling. But we continue to squabble on stupid things. We continue to be pulled aside and lose focus on what matters. America is the greatest nation in the history of our planet. Florida is the greatest state in these 50 United States of America, and we are lucky and blessed to live here, but we got to preserve it. You know, wins in sports happen because people are working together. They're working through a thought process, a playbook. Wins for our state and our country, it's the same exact way. Our Constitution is the playbook. God gives us our freedoms. Our Constitution upholds those freedoms at the federal and state level. It's not the government's money, it's your money. Less government is actually better government. And trust the people to do the right thing. And if they don't, hold them accountable, but then get out of the way, man. That is what this is about. And it's discipline. It's focus. It's winning. It's getting out there and doing what has to be done, man. That's it. That is the secret sauce in life.
Man, I got to tell you, Jay, I'm ready to go run through a wall. I want to put pads and a helmet on right now and hit the field. I mean, that is so inspirational. I want us to take one more break, but I want us to come back, and I want us to conclude this show by talking about how are we going to overcome the obstacles?
Yep.
Because they're there. We all face them. We see them in education. We see them in healthcare, all the things that are facing us. And it's the mindset that we're teaching our young people in the sports fields that really can be translated back into life. You just said it, to make this nation, this state, what it needs to be.
That's right.
If we all stay focused
100%.
and not get distracted. So we're going to take a break, come back. We're going to be overcomers by the time this is over and make this place the way you want it.
Orlando homeowners, are you avoiding replacing your roof because of the cost? If you're nodding yes, you're not alone. A lot of people are in the same boat. That's why we offer several financing options to suit your needs. At Eustis Roofing, we take the time to walk through your situation, answer your questions, and find a plan that works for your needs. No pressure, no runaround, just real solutions so you can take care of your home. If your roof needs attention, let's talk. We're here to help.
Well, welcome back to the SportsHub Podcast. I know you're as excited about this show as I am, and you probably have already gotten up, got something to drink, to eat, because you don't want it to end. You feel motivated. We all do. We're talking to the Lieutenant Governor, Jay Collins. I'm going to make this comment, and I think you're probably going to agree with this because it's story of your life. If I had to summarize some of the things I've heard you say, it would be there are setbacks that are really setups for comebacks.
That's right, 100%.
I mean, getting yourself to a point where what you have gone through to prepare you for this moment. There comes a point in every athlete. Somewhere right now, there's some young kid making a decision, I'm trying out for the team.
That's right.
They feel it. They've put it off, whatever it has been in their past. No one's led that way before. They felt shy about it. Now there's something in their belly that says, I'm going to do it. What was it for you? You're in the biggest race of your life right now to be the governor. I just got to say this and take this as a compliment. What I love about you is you don't sound like a politician.
That is a huge compliment.
You sound like an everyday guy.
I am.
That I can just go hang out with, sit on the front porch, drink some sweet tea, and talk life and football and what's going on in our families.
You know what's funny in politics? There are a lot of politicians who want to place themselves above the people. Why would you want to be that? We are the American people. We're a republic for a reason. I don't want to ever be above the people. I'm one of the people. I love being one of the people. And our founding fathers created a system where we the people lead we the people. And they step in, they lead, and they go back to where they came from. That's how it has to be. The biggest compliment you can give me is that I don't sound like a politician. I don't like a lot of politicians. I like people who say what they mean what they say, and then get results. Winning matters. Losing sucks, man. I can't say that enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Every team who had a bad record last year would agree with you right now.
100%.
But you come across as you just have this mindset that you see things that you want to accomplish. You see issues, even in our state, that can be better, and you say, it's time to step up.
That's right.
We've had a great governor these last 8 years, and here you are sitting in a situation, and it's like, next man up. And you're ready to step in that position. I almost see it as a parallel to where you've been all throughout your life.
Yeah, it is. You can choose to overthink, paralysis by analysis. It doesn't do us any favors, right? Overthinking, it costs lives in combat. It costs opportunity in real life. Wow. Just get into the mix, man. You may win, you may lose, but you're going to lose 100% of the time if you don't get in and fight and try. And you said something very profound. Yeah, man, you get knocked down. Sometimes you lose despite every single thing you've done to win. And you've got to suck it up. You got to smile, nod your head, and come back the next time. In combat, you see bad things happen, and then you got to go back out and say, not today, Al-Qaeda. We're back in this fight, right? It's the same way in the sports world. I mean, imagine where Tom Brady would be if he hadn't been Tom freaking Brady, right?
Yeah.
The dude just kept getting up. Look at Mike Tyson.
Yep.
Just something innate to him where he came back after all of those things. It was still Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
That drive, man, it is real. And, yeah, it's huge. And to all the kids who are out there getting ready to go, you may win, you may lose, but who cares? Get in the mix. That's where all the fun things happen anyway. You're going to learn things. You're going to learn lessons. And if you don't win now, come back and compete. Michael Jordan got cut.
Come on.
He's the greatest of all time, man, when it comes to basketball.
Absolutely.
That's the story. Man, every great lesson I've learned in life came at the expense of my face, my arm, my leg, something. Failure drives excellence. Let that hit hard, learn from it, use it as fuel, and then push forward.
Yeah, the stamina and discipline to push through the hardships that we encounter. Mm-hmm. I think about that for our nation right now. I mean, things are so distracting. I like to use that word because I think that's the right word. We get so distracted from where we could be, the potential of what we are.
That's right.
Is right in front of us. And it's like we need the moral compass of someone saying, that's the door, and we're going through it. And regardless of the distractions or what's being said around us to the left or to the right, we're going through that door, and we're going to be victorious when we do it.
That's right. You know, I think back to September 11th, profound moment. You know, I was in airborne school for September 11th. Wow. September 12th, our whole world coalesced and came together. All Americans were the American people. And when I said it earlier, I meant it then, I mean it now, and I mean it every time I talk about it. When the American people get online and row the boat together, there is nothing we can't do as a people. We are the land of the free because of the sacrifice of a few, because of the brave. And in that is a lesson. You know, think back to our founding fathers. They were a bunch of young kids, people who were fighting against the strongest nation in the world. But they had an idea that we could be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And foundationally, that was worth everything. You know, I'm going to quote a coach in Tampa, you got to risk it for the biscuit, right?
Come on.
Yeah, and it matters, man. That's our roots. That's who we are. People fled from other countries, came here to look for freedom and opportunity. Disproportionately, who gets in a boat, goes across the water to something that may or may not exist with nothing there? It's a risk taker. It's a guy who's willing to win. Yep. Man, that's where America comes from. That is who we are. We get back to our roots. We focus on winning and not trying to handle it. It's like the prevent defense in football. All it prevents is a win. That's right. Go out there, hit the gas, and fight. That is the most American thing we can do. That's where greatness lies. But when teamwork comes together, it goes back to kindergarten. All the greatest things, man. Teamwork does make the dream work.
Absolutely.
It does.
So as I sit here and think about people who are watching this, you know, we got families who are watching this. Some families in crisis, you know, watching a son or daughter do things that they don't want their son, making choices that aren't the best of choices, and sometimes getting to a point where they just wish their son or daughter would come to the dinner table. Young people who sometimes just seem disillusioned. I mean, the term I heard recently from the Secretary of Labor in D.C. was our students now are bed-rotting, disengaged from the workforce, that they don't have the drive you're talking about. I just wonder if you take 5 minutes as we're talking here, and if you were talking to the families that are sitting around dinner tables who are trying to find north and all the noise, everything in their community that just seems that's not right, and they've been listening to the wrong voices, the voices that say my kids aren't good enough, we don't have a nice enough home, we don't have the right food to eat, all the negativity. What would you say and how would you speak to them about overcoming their current situation and become the winners that they are, that the family can be, that they can be for their kids and change the community?
That's one of the greatest questions I've had asked in a long, long time. Look, you know what the dream of America is? And Marco Rubio said this isn't mine. It's that anybody from anywhere can become anything.
Wow.
That is exactly what the American dream is. I want to just take a moment. I want to share my story. Broken home, broken family, kid who had nothing. I didn't have 2 wooden nickels to rub together. Didn't have any opportunity. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was told many times that a kid like me from a broken home like that, you don't have any opportunity. You're better off just joining the Army and figuring it out. I went to college, went for a couple years. I joined the Army, and I used that as a catapult to move forward. So one, don't self-select, right? We teach our kids that in special forces, you know, when they come in, and it's a lot. There's some pretty crazy things that happen in training and in life. You know, it's the same thing in sports. Just go try out for the team. You don't know what's going to happen. But America, it doesn't matter where you come from. All that matters is what you do with where you come from. All the greatest stories are a comeback story, right? They really are. We are that people. That's what our nation's built on. And what I'd say is this: humility goes a long way. Yeah, so what? If you grew up in a trailer, I grew up in a trailer. I grew up on food stamps. Commodity cheese is good cheese. I don't hide from a thing. Don't worry about what's going on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram. Look at the problem at hand, solve that next problem. There's a movie, I think it's called The Martian, with Matt Damon.
Yeah, love that movie.
And he says something that you have to solve one problem, then the next, and then the next, and that's how you win, and it's how you get back from Mars, right? It's a great movie, but it's a very profound story. Don't overcomplicate Rice Krispies, right? Rice Krispies is a blue box. It's an okay cereal. It makes a cool noise, right? It is what it is. Solve the first problem, then the next, and then the next. But when you get together and you have conversations like this, get off Twitter, get off Facebook, get off Instagram, get off the television, and just spend time with people. That's where really great things happen.
Absolutely.
And part of the problem in our nation is that we aren't talking to each other. Doing a Twitter feed or a DM or whatever is not the same thing as talking to somebody. Life is a people industry. If you want to win, you want to do great things in life, it takes people to your left and right. Because it doesn't matter how gifted you are. Tom Brady can go be the greatest quarterback in our world ever. He is.
Yep.
But he can't win if the other 10 people on that team aren't out there on the offense. Same thing with the defense, right? It takes a team to go win. You got to do that. You got to inspire that, and it takes you trying and fighting. And I would encourage people to never be overcome by the moment. There's a term, OBE, overcome by events. You see this when people just kind of like glitch and break, and they never get past that. Don't let that moment define you. I got shot, man. That could have defined me. I got hit by a mortar. It could have defined me. They cut off my leg. I got 5 other toes. We're fine. I have 1 more leg. Don't let it define you. Prove people wrong. There's always going to be people out there who say you can't do it. Who cares? Come together, coalesce with your team, coalesce with your family, and then go win. There is nothing quite so sweet as rubbing it in people's faces with humility. Smiling when you're on the finish line, holding the trophy, holding the medal. Chicks dig scars. They're great stories, and that's what winning is about. But then remember and be humble and fight for the next one.
Man, again, I'm ready to run through a wall, and I'm thinking about phrases, things that when you look in the eyes of students who think they're less than, who don't feel what you just said, but you just said it. There's a phrase we talk about in schools, and it's this: opportunity is now. Who's going to step up and not look to because there's so much noise. You said it: Twitter, Instagram, social media, where there's continually noise defining what they think your potential is.
That's it.
And then if you watch enough of that, you start believing that.
You do.
You think that all what you're seeing is reality when it's not. The reality is the opportunity is sitting in front of you, and if you step up, here's the key: you get to be the best version of you.
100%.
You are the lieutenant governor of the state of Florida, and I've heard you say at least 3 times on this show, I wasn't the tallest. Yep. If you would let Twitter define your height and what your abilities are,
crazy.
You went way past that.
I bring that up all the time because, one, it takes their power away from them. Let them talk. I don't care. I don't see any of them serving as lieutenant governor.
Come on.
I don't see any of them doing the things we've done. It doesn't matter how tall you are, how strong you are, how fast you are. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Come on.
And that's proven over and over. But look, man, you have to have that dog in you, right? If you're one of those people who just wants to wait for everything to be perfect, nothing in life is ever perfect.
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone who wants to second guess you, talk garbage, right? Talk smack. Nothing in life is there. Just get in the fight, and go do what you got to do. You may win, you may lose, but at least you're in the fight. Right?
Yeah.
There's always that talking head, always someone who wants to see you fail. But, the thing that I want people to remember is you should expect to win. Neurologically and biologically, your amygdala is a region of the brain. It continues to thrive and grow the more you overcome adversity. So when you get back up, it's easier the next time, and the next time, and the next time. You want to build resilient people, it's addictive. When I requalified as a Green Beret, and we got past all the minutia of the Department of Defense and all of the BS, right? And I could really put brass tacks. It's easy to be resilient when you're with resilient people because there were no excuses. They're like, get up, fatty. You better move. You better work harder. That little short leg ain't going to make it if you don't do this.
Wow.
Right? You have to have the people drive you. You do.
I can say this, Lieutenant Governor, Jay, you're just, it's hard to look at you and think that in the midst of this race you're in, that you're not going to come out victorious. I mean, the attitude is right where it needs to be, the heart for what you're doing. I just think about the audience out there right now, and one of the things I would say to families out there who are struggling is sometimes when you're struggling, you need someone to lead. You need someone who will step up and be the example.
It's that first step.
It is. It's this getting out of the minutia where you are and saying, I'm going to take one step, and this step's going to be victorious. Maybe that's just setting the alarm clock and getting up, and that's your first small victory.
Yep.
And then you carry it to the next one, and then you carry it to the next step. And I want to summarize, if we could, and I want to thank you. Man, this has been an incredible time together. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
on this campaign. I know that it can be wearing, it can be very tiring, but man, looking at you, I don't see it. That's the kind of people that we need leading, and I want to thank you for being that kind of person. Yeah. I think back to Vince Lombardi, and he sums up really what everything you've said when he looked out to all the players who wanted to win that Super Bowl trophy, and he said, you have to understand leaders are not born. They're made.
Yep.
It's in the refinement. It's in the process. And I would say to you as families today, hearing a guy like this who's our lieutenant governor should give you a sense of pride. It should give you a sense of hope that there are leaders like this guy who are out there for us, giving us an example of how we can lead in the community with our own families. And so I would just say to you today, whatever you're facing right now, if you're a young man thinking about going out for the football team, do it. Make the decision today that you're going to go do it. You're going to go sign that piece of paper. Doesn't matter how you look right now. You're going to go in and discipline yourself. If you're a family and you're in crisis right now, begin to make the steps, one step at a time and one brick at a time. You start building your life back and becoming the winners that he believes you can be, that we believe you can be because you have that title. You're an American. So thank you, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you. I want to give you two last things. Courage is immeasurable. Courage comes down to 6 inches. That's it. That first step is all courage is. Once you're in, you're committed, you're moving. Whatever's going to happen, happens. That's cast. You know, we don't anticipate that. We don't think about it. We think we can't get past it.
Yeah.
That's just not the fact, man. Courage is one step, and then getting in the fight. And, you know, overall, if I were going to give you one other thing, there is a single word that probably most defines me. It's relentless. You have to be relentless. Man, life is hard, but that makes it enjoyable. Life is hard. That makes you stronger. Life is hard. That makes the winning all the more manageable, affordable, and enjoyable. Now, hopefully, they enjoy success more than I do. I don't really celebrate very well. I also suck at that. But the truth is, you have to be relentless, man. My advice to kids is have the dog. Some people have it naturally. Some people have to learn it. But if you want to be competitive in a world where you're not physically prepared, just go be the most relentless person on the field and you're going to get playing time. 100%. It's the same way in life. Show up over and over and over when they tell you no. Show up over and over and over when it gets hard. And you're going to get PT. You're going to win. You're going to get to the next level.
I think we can end it no better way. You know, show up, be the best version of yourself, and become the mindset of a winner. Thanks for being on the SportsHub Podcast. I can't wait to have him back. I hope you'll come back.
Absolutely.
You're going to have a little different title, but we hope you come back and join us at this table and continue this conversation of how we can build that in our community and be a better state and be a better nation. And why not let Florida lead?
That's it. We better lead. When Florida leads, America wins.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time on the SportsHub Podcast.
This has been the Style Sports Hub.